And that's where you can see more gameplay and stuff, and yeah. There's more to see over there, but okay. Let me situate you guys in the middle now. So, in the new trailer, they let us get a better look at the dinosaurs, including the D-Rex. So the D-Rex looks like they kind of start the trailer off with the D-Rex. And they make, to me, it really looks like the scene out of Alien Romulus, where the aliens are kind of hatching and coming out into the spaceship. So I am excited, in the sense that, like, I hope they do kind of make this much more of a horror movie, because I think the original Jurassic Park and Jurassic World were much more of real horror movies, kind of like how Alien was. So I hope it is kind of a scary movie, but we'll see. Hi Jerome, hi Internal Fox, hi AJ, thank you guys for coming. So as you guys know, probably today I'm going to be talking about Jurassic World, the new dinosaurs that were dropped in the trailer. And I'm also eating Jersey Mike subs. You're on episode 6 already. That's fun. We just finished watching Evangelion in the Discord too. Hey Green Room. You bought some movies. What did you buy? Hi Eric. So yeah, the D-Rex looks scary. After the D-Rex, they show a couple of different dinosaurs. So they do show T-Rex. I think T-Rex is the first dinosaur that they call. That they show, sorry. And I do like how they're kind of showing the T-Rex move really quickly. It looks like they did kind of take the new paleontology into account, and that they are going to make T-Rex be like a fast moving animal, an intelligent animal. Maybe like they're going to have it move a little faster than they did in the original Jurassic Park, which makes me happy because the real T-Rex would be able to move at like 20 miles an hour. So it could definitely outrun you. They also show T-Rex kind of like walking through the water, not swimming, which is good, because we have no evidence for T-Rex swimming. But they do show it walking through shallow water, like through shallow shores, which we do have evidence for, potentially, of large theropods. We have footprints from large theropods, you know, running through like shallow shores. So that could still be accurate. And then there is a cool scene in the trailer of a T-Rex kind of like plunging its head into the water and ambushing a human and chomping them, which could totally happen. I could definitely see T-Rex doing that. So overall, I'm liking what they're showing for T-Rex. I mean, the only thing is like the real T-Rex would be covered in feathers, but I understand that it's Jurassic Park and that's like their most iconic dinosaur, so I can't blame them, you know. Paleontologists are like power scalers. Not really, because we don't really think a lot about which dino would win in a fight. We're more thinking about evolution. Thanks for the roses. Guys, by the way, Ada. I have seen Golden Boy. I love Golden Boy. Dinosaurs in One Piece. I did a video on the Spinosaurus. I think it's cool there's a Spinosaurus in One Piece. There's like a lot of inaccuracies, but it's cool. Hey, Shane Dragon. I'm not in cosplay today, but It is Lara Croft vibes. Hey, know your bro. Hey, Mr. Nick. Yes, we want Battlefront 3. Hey, Nerf Boy Jake. Yes, I will be making more videos with the Asuka cosplay soon. Hey, Liquid Shinjo. Yeah, I hope the new movie is scary. Hey, random guy. I'm doing pretty good, know your bro. How about you? Yes. I have seen that video, Night Feeder. So after they showed T-Rex, I think what they showed next was kind of this thing that looks like a velociraptor. um, but it's not a velociraptor, so it looks like a velociraptor that's like on all fours. And it kind of has a membrane or like membranous wings, like a membrane of skin between its arms and its body. But it kind of moves like a raptor. So this thing, like, at first I thought it was supposed to be a dinosaur, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized it was probably a pterosaur. And the particular pterosaur that they based it on, it starts with a D. I'm not remembering the name right now, but it's basically like, let me double check the name of it so you guys can look it up. Basically, it kind of has like a shortened snout and Dimorphodon. Okay, it's called Dimorphodon, but so pterosaurs, there's a big diversity. There's lots of different kinds of pterosaurs. Dimorphodon is a really weird looking pterosaur because it's like, it's basically if you took a velociraptor, made its snout really short, made it super tiny, and then gave it like bat wings. But it is a pterosaur, so it's a reptile, not a dinosaur. Now I think that's what they were trying to make this thing be, but Dimorphodon is kind of the size of a cat. Like, it's pretty small. But in Jurassic World, they made it be the size of like a Utah raptor or Deinonychus, like a big, you know, like a mid-sized theropod size. So they definitely made the size a lot bigger. And then the other thing about it is the way that the legs and the ankles are more like those of a dinosaur. So basically, if you look at it, it's like the ankle and the knee are kind of off the ground. So it literally looks like a velociraptor with a short snout and like wings in the movie. But in real life, like pterosaurs, they keep their ankles and their toes on the ground, you know, whereas like the dinosaurs would kind of walk like this. Like, I can't do it. Well, like, let me try to show you. Like this, okay? But like pterosaurs, if they're walking on the ground, they're gonna look like this. But in the movie, they're like making them walk like, they're making this pterosaur in particular walk like a dinosaur. So that's something a little different. I don't know if it's supposed to be some sort of hybrid. Do I have Battlefront 2? Yes. I got all the diorama stuff on Battlefront 2. So yeah, that's the next main guy they show. Let me catch up on chat. Dimetrodon is a mammal. Primitive mammal. But yes, it sounds like Dimetrodon, but it's Dimorphodon is the pterosaur. And it real Dimorphodon, it would have more eaten like small animals and insects. I mean, I'm sure if it was larger in size like it was in the movie, it could definitely like eat people. Hi, Scrotum Wizard. We're talking about the new dinosaurs and pterosaurs and mosasaurs in Jurassic World. Thanks for following Moses Ada Ada, and remember to come over to Twitch too, you guys. I have the same username over there. Yeah, I will. I will bring Monica back. Don't worry. I have not seen Primal on Steam. No, I've had it on a Xbox. I will definitely do more Mazzato, don't worry. Yes, I agree, femboy worshiper. Hello. um I have never seen Story of Dragons, a fantasy made real. I've not seen that. I'm sorry, know your bro, but the steak and rice sound good. Yeah, it definitely the Dimorphodon, Shane, it does give wyvern vibes. Are there any ancestral microorganisms that got fossilized? Like a hypothetical ancestor between bacteria and viruses? That's a good question, Femboy Worshipper. There definitely are some. I don't know about like if you're talking about the ancestor of all life. No, like of everything, no. But there's definitely fossilized bacteria and archaea and viruses that are older, much older than the dinosaurs, like millions and millions of years older. And we can even see like fossilized bacteria in amber and in dinosaur fossils. So got the Italian sub. Hey, Alejandro. You didn't miss too much. I was talking about the T-Rex looks new and improved. And I was talking about Dimorphodon, which would be a lot smaller in real life. It's a pterosaur. But they make it kind of look like a big velociraptor. You're gonna cut grass for your job. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, definitely like mutant, like mashing dinosaurs genetically with other dinosaurs, it would be difficult. It's already difficult enough to make a real clone of something. We already don't really have the technology to do that very well. Something that's extinct, we don't have the technology to de-extinct anything. And if we did, I mean, like, mashing different extinct things together probably wouldn't result in something that would be able to have a very good quality of life. Cyanobacteria, yes. We have fossils of it. I just don't know how far back, how old those fossils are. Can scientists know if dinosaurs have feathers? Yes. We have found preserved feathers in lots and lots of dinosaurs. Pretty much just the theropod dinosaurs, though. So dinosaurs like T-Rex, Velociraptor, close relatives of T-Rex. We have fossils of them like covered in feathers. We can tell what the feather structure is. Sometimes we can even tell what the pattern was, like where there's stripes of lighter colors. Oh, thank you, ATAT Productions, for following me, Ada Ada, on Twitch. We can tell if, you know, they had like stripes on the feathers, different patterns. We can tell like what color they might have been. We can't tell what every color was because some colors degrade more quickly than others. So, for example, we can't tell like if something was red, yellow, or orange. Those are produced by a chemical called carotenoids, which you get from your diet. So, for example, that's why flamingos are pink. Flamingos are pink because they eat shrimp. They're pink because they contain a lot of these carotenoids, and that turns the flamingos pink because they're basically like they create this byproduct that like gets stored in their feathers. But that goes away when you're not constantly eating. So like when the animal dies, that color fades really quickly. But there are other colors like colors that are based in blue or brown that are made out of melanin, which is like a different kind of pigment. It's basically it's the pigment that like makes up Mazatofin 911. Thank you for following me on Twitch. Ada. I love your username. You'll be happy here. But basically, so melanin is like the pigment that you see in like your moles, or it's like what makes skin darker. The more melanin you have in your skin, the darker it is. But melanin is also the chemical component that is, it's like the structural component of blue colors. So like blue, green, and iridescent colors, and brown. So if a dinosaur was any of those colors, we can tell based on the structure of the molecules that are preserved in a fossil. There is one Ankylosaurus where the paleontologists said that they could find that it was like reddish brown. I'm really not sure how they figured out the red part. I think because it wasn't made out of carotenoids, it was like something in the armor. So that might be one exception, is like armor, where we can tell if something was red or orange. Yes, I know about Mary Anning. It is very unfair still to this day. My camera's not focusing. Thank you, hardcore normcore, ada. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't think I would consider. Why is it not focusing? I don't think I would consider the KT impact a form of genetic drift, or I mean, it could be a bottleneck effect regionally, like around the area of the impact, but I don't think it was a bottleneck effect overall because like the impact was in a small area of, I mean, relatively small compared to the world, in Mexico. So a bottleneck effect is more like if everything on an island was affected by something and like only like 3 species survive. Like it's like a lot more drastic. But there could be like regional portions of that. And then genetic drift is more caused from like moving between populations. Thanks, Faceless. Yeah, so mass spectroscopy. Yeah, I mean, well, usually like we would use scanning electron microscopy or SEM to see things as at the nano level, to see like the structures of the bacteria I was talking about. Like mass spectroscopy is usually more for like we just usually wouldn't use it for that. Okay. Let's see. Ray cosplay from Evangelion. I don't know. I don't really relate to Ray. Um, yeah, de-extincting a dinosaur would be a bad idea. Sunny times Lozado, hi. Okay, so we talked about T-Rex, we talked about Dimorphodon. Now they also show Quetzalcoatlus, but it's kind of a... This Quetzalcoatlus, to me, it looks a little small compared to real Quetzalcoatlus and compared to the one in the last Jurassic World movie. And the other thing about it that is not really, that we haven't found in any real pterosaurs is that, like, the end of the snout has this weird, like, backward curving hook thing. And that's something that's, like, not present in any pterosaur that we know about. So it's some kind of mutant, like, Quetzalcoatlus situation going on. Mm. Dinosaur, I think, is severely underrated in the media. I think Troodon isn't really shown in the media at all, but it was probably one of the most intelligent dinosaurs. Um, it's closely related to birds and Velociraptor. It's like one of the bird-like dinosaurs that's like most closely related to birds. If you like Dinosaur King, will you enjoy being a paleontologist? I don't think those things really correlate. You're gonna have to have very different skills for both of those things. Liking dinosaurs is kind of the only overlap. Mm. Were some dinosaur feathers like T-Rex more like a kiwi? I mean, I'm sure dinosaurs had some what we call kind of downy feathers that were like the soft, short feathers. But for the most part, they probably would have on big animals like T-Rex, they might have been a slightly different structure that was a little more primitive. So they might have been a little more bristly than like the feathers we know today. I would say they're a slightly different structure. They might have looked pretty similar. On T-Rex, I think it definitely would have had like longer feathers than the kiwi based on fossils of like Eutyrannus, which is a really close relative of T-Rex. I mean, that thing has pretty long feathers like covering its body. Would stealing the eggs be a bad idea? Yes. Hi, Dark Weasel. Thank you for coming. My day was fine. I've been working on actually on dinosaur research all day, so. Yeah, the new monster dino, I don't love the idea of the D-Rex, like, so I think either it's like a person combined with the T-Rex, which I really hope that's not what it is. That makes no sense. Or it's like a T-Rex that like had too much frog DNA was the other theory I saw people throwing around, which also doesn't really make sense genetically. Like you wouldn't like, it would just be really easy to tell like what was the frog DNA versus dinosaur DNA. So that doesn't really make sense to me. I'm not really sure how it's going to be scary, but they made it look kind of scary. Maybe if they make it act like, the xenomorph aliens, it could be scary. Is it difficult to find a job in a museum as a paleontologist? Yes, especially now. There's a lot of cutbacks, so they usually aren't rehiring even when people like retire. Strongest dinosaur and raw strength. In terms of bite force, definitely T Rex. In terms of just raw strength and like power, probably Titanosaurs because they were bigger than whales. Bigger than the blue whale. That dinosaurs were diploids. I'm not sure about that. Um, I mean, I'm not sure honestly because I'm not. I would have to look at what modern birds are. Hey, Diana Graham. The dino in the sea with the long neck. I think you're thinking of Brachiosaurus or Brontosaurus. That's funny, Dark Weasel. Yeah, we should do a Jurassic Park movie night on the Discord. Did dinosaurs look more like birds or lizards? So, if it was a bird-like dinosaur like the theropods, like T-Rex or Velociraptor or anything like that, it would probably look more like a bird, have some type of feathers, it would probably move like a bird. But other than that, they were probably scaly, the other dinosaurs, so like long neck dinosaurs, Ankylosaurus, Triceratops, and stuff like that. They were probably scaly, although they might have had like some bristles on them, on their tail, but. That's good to know, Shane Dragon. Yeah, that is a good point, Drago Warrior. So yeah, with the Mosasaurus, so in the new trailer, they're like, "Oh, we didn't find the Mosasaurus. The Mosasaurus found us." And then the Mosasaurus just kind of like comes up the side of the boat and does a twisty jump like it's in a dolphin show at SeaWorld. And there's a couple things wrong with that. So first of all, the Mosasaurus is super big. It's like at least twice the size of a real Mosasaurus. So the biggest real Mosasaurus that we found is Tylosaurus. And it's about half the size, half the length of the one you see in Jurassic World. Also, Mosasaurids, like, they're okay. They were okay swimmers, but they weren't like that fast. Like, I want to say they would move at like about the speed of a T-Rex. Like they can move quickly in short bursts, like about 20, 30 miles an hour, but like then they would be pretty slow. And the way that their tail was, their tail just kind of goes straight back. It's not like flat like a dolphin tail. So they weren't really like agile acrobatic swimmers like a dolphin is. They're more like if you think of a big ship like the Titanic or something like that. Those big ships have a rudder that you can only move back and forth, and that rudder kind of steers you, but you're like moving fast for a large thing, but you're like moving pretty slow. You know, that's like what a mosasaur, that's how a real mosasaur would swim. It's like using its tail as a rudder. It's not like, and so that means it couldn't jump out of the water and certainly couldn't do like some crazy dolphin spin trick. Although that would be cool. And the last thing about that Mosasaurus comment of Mosasaurus finding them. I mean, so first of all, Mosasaurus, like, even if it saw them, it would take a while for it to swim up to them unless, like, they're literally sitting in the boat and not really moving. But also, like, we don't really know what the intelligence of Mosasaur was. I couldn't find any studies on it at all. I don't know. I don't think anyone, to my knowledge, has even like reconstructed their brain case. We've done that for a lot of dinosaurs, but I don't think that's been done for Mosasaur. So we really don't know how intelligent they were at all. They probably were less intelligent than dinosaurs, though, because they are reptiles, so they're more closely related to snakes. And as far as we know, birds are smarter than reptiles, including snakes. So it's likely that Mosasaurus wouldn't be like a velociraptor hunting them in the water, you know? Go to Insta. R. Hi, Derek. Hi, Plus Porcupine. Pachycephalosaurus. Pachycephalosaurus is really cool. I recommend trying to see the skeleton in person. Like, Smithsonian in DC has a really great Pachycephalosaurus skeleton on display. The head armor is like crazy. Camera. Let's see. Hi, Simic. Also, guys on TikTok, come over to Twitch too. I'm still Reisuka over there. I'm eating a sub from Jersey Mike's. Italian sub. Hi, Chris. Yeah, we're talking about the new dinosaurs in Jurassic World. I'm a paleontologist in real life. I study dinosaurs. I have a PhD in paleontology. So why do we consider dinosaurs as reptiles while modern birds are the descendants? So dinosaurs are kind of weird because like part of them are a little more closely related to reptiles, like dinosaurs like Triceratops and Stegosaurus and things like that. I mean, really all dinosaurs are more closely related to birds than reptiles, but like in your textbook you'll see people kind of group half of them with reptiles and group theropods with birds, but really like reptiles evolved, kind of branched off before dinosaurs, and then dinosaurs evolved, and then the dinosaurs that survived the KPG impact, the asteroid, evolved into birds. So yeah, sometimes in the textbooks it's like it's a little bit of it's a little confusing how it's worded, but basically dinosaurs are more closely related to birds than they are to reptiles. Thanks, Dereku, for following me on Twitch. Ada ada. Hi, Agent 96006. From Subway. I don't like Subway. Hi, Aaron. Well, the T-Rex in the new trailer, they didn't show it swimming. Oh, thank you for the roses. They didn't show it swimming, which I hope they don't, because we have no evidence of T-Rex swimming. They show it walking through shallow water, which we do have evidence for from dinosaur footprints. Hi, Marius. Hi, Dark Weasel. Sorry, I already said hi to you, didn't I? Yeah, I love Jersey Mike's too. They're still good though. Um, we don't have evidence of dragons existing. I mean, in China, like in ancient China, it was thought that like dinosaur bones were dragon bones, but we do not have evidence of dragons. I think it's more likely that the mist came from dinosaur bones. Um, hey guys, if you're on TikTok, please come over to Twitch too. I'm Raysuga on Twitch. Funny Valentine, I will talk about that soon, but not yet. Not quite yet. So, okay, we talked about T-Rex, we talked about Mosasaurus, we talked about Dimorphodon, we talked about Quetzalcoatlus. Am I missing any dinosaurs that they showed us? They showed Titanosaurs. Walker JKWR2, thank you for following me on Twitch. Ada Ada. Um okay, so in the trailer they show a few like big long neck dinosaurs and they claim that these are titanosaurs, right? Um the first so on the one hand I like the focus on the sauropods, but on the flip side, like I do wish that they kind of showed them a little. They might show them a little differently in the movie, but to me, like, this is just judging from the trailer, all of this. So, we'll see when the movie comes out. But judging by the trailer, it seems like the titanosaurs are kind of too small, or to be fair, they could be a small species. Unsealed SXGE, thank you for following me on Twitch. Ada Ada. But they could be like a smaller species of titanosaur. So that could be okay. I personally would like to see the biggest titanosaur possible on the screen. But we'll see. It was really hard to judge the scale from the trailer compared to how big the titanosaurs were compared to the humans. They also, these titanosaurs that they show, they have sails along their backs and along like the back of their necks that look kind of like mini Spinosaurus sails. Now, we don't have evidence of any of those. We don't have evidence of any sails in any long neck dinosaurs except for one group of long neck dinosaurs, but they're not titanosaurs. They are a group of dinosaurs that's more closely related to like Diplodocus. So they're much smaller, they have shorter necks, and these are dinosaurs like a Margosaurus. That one we do have evidence for it having a crest, although it would have looked different than the one in Jurassic World. So yeah, titanosaurs, we don't have any evidence of them having a crest. At the same time, we haven't really been able to find a complete titanosaur skeleton. For some reason, just because of like preservation of fossils, usually we're only able to find like the leg of a titanosaur or like the vertebrae of a titanosaur, which is like what I got to find was like a bunch of the vertebrae. We usually don't find a skull or any of the rest of the skeleton. So like if you go to an exhibit and you see a titanosaur skeleton that's complete, all of that has been built out by like modeling the real titanosaur bones that were found and then like comparing them to other long neck dinosaurs and then mathematically computing what the rest of the skeleton would look like. So, I mean, But those long necks are really cool, and I'm happy to see, like, I love Brachiosaurus, but I am really happy to see more like long necked dinosaurs in Jurassic World, because we really only had like Brachiosaurus, and I think that's really all we've had. I think there is a really heavy like theropod focus in Jurassic World, which is fair, and like theropods are my favorite, so I love that. But like sauropod dinosaurs, which are the long neck dinosaurs, are my like second favorite. So that's really cool to see. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it would be difficult for these big dinosaurs to tolerate the lower level of oxygen. I don't know like how difficult. I would have to like look into that. But I mean, it would definitely get lower if we had like big herbivores running around the world. If they're running around and like eating all the vegetation, I mean, we don't have giant trees anymore for these things to live off of. So, it wouldn't be very long before they kind of ate the green away from the planet. Okay, let me catch up on the chat. Remember to come over to Twitch, guys, if you're on TikTok. My Twitch is Raysuka with the underscore at the end. Unlimited shoutouts. I'm glad, Dark Weasel. Thanks, AJ. I did not see a Brachiosaurus in the trailer, so I think they're gonna focus on like the new sauropod stuff. Oh, thanks, Dri for following me. Ada. The smallest sauropod, I don't think it's part of Titanosaur group. I know Apatosaurus is like one of the smallest. Let me actually double check that. Oh, actually, you're right. Magyarosaurus. Magyarosaurus. That is a weird theropod. I should do a video on that. So I guess they are part of the Titanosaur group. But I just think if, for a movie, if you're going to go after the Titanosaurs, like if you're going to show Titanosaurs, go big or go home. It's kind of like, that's how I felt about Giganotosaurus. Like, I found it weird that they chose to show like a juvenile Giganotosaurus. I just really wish they had shown like a giant Giganotosaurus, even though those weren't even that much bigger than T-Rex. They're like 10 feet bigger at most. But like, if we're going for the big Hollywood, thing, like, we might as well get a big ass Titanosaurus. They ruined Dilophosaurus. Yeah, they did make Dilophosaurus tiny. Tinier than the real one. Yeah, it will take a while to get a job. I mean, to be a paleontologist, you have to spend a lot of time in school and spend a lot of time looking for a job. But I am gonna make a video at some point soon of like how to be a paleontologist at different levels. Okay. Yes, I love Littlefoot from Land Before Time. We should also watch Land Before Time in Discord, guys. Hi, Gavin. Yeah, Nigerosaurus, named after the river in Africa. Yes, it does have 500 teeth that were continually being regrown. Hey, Jim. No, these are not Dino Nuggies. This is my Jersey Mikes. My Jersey Mikes. From the Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore. I'm like mixing my British accent and my New York accent. Apatosaurus at H, me too. I love Apatosaurus. Yeah, it's definitely smaller. It's definitely smaller than like Diplodocus, but I love Apatosaurus is like they just have a lot of character to them. Yes, I miss the baby Apatosaurus there. Imagine if they threw the dodo into Jurassic Park, that would be hilarious. Yeah, we need to watch Land Before Time and cry together, guys. I haven't rewatched it in quite a while. Yeah, Argentinosaurus. Do I think that if they made the dinosaurs more realistic, it would be boring? I think that I don't think so, because I mean, I think the only thing that they would really have to change is like some of the sizes or some of slightly or like adding feathers. And in some ways, I think like adding feathers to the theropod dinosaurs would make them more creepy and scarier, like to make these things act more like birds. Like if you've ever watched a crow or a grackle and how they're just like, you know, and I can't even do it. Like they like move their head so quick and like and they look at you and they're just like, I mean, those things would rip you to shreds if they could, but they're tiny so they can't. But like that's like probably what a dinosaur would be like. Um so and instead of like calling the velociraptors Velociraptor, they could just call them Utahraptor and or Deinonychus and they would be about the same size. So like I don't really think it would be more boring. I mean, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World also did like do a fair amount that was accurate, to be fair, so like it wouldn't be that big of a change. Like Spinosaurus, they did pretty accurately, actually. IRL T-Rex or Indominus Rex? I would say like real T-Rex would win because its bite force is so strong, and like I just think the hybrids would probably be weaker because anytime you try to like make a hybrid of something, usually the hybrid's weaker. Yeah, the Spinosaurus in Jurassic World, or yeah, Jurassic World and Jurassic Park is pretty much accurate. The only difference is like Spinosaurus probably wouldn't be able to swim in deep water. Yeah, so old upright T-Rex, not scary. Oh yeah, Titanosaurus from Godzilla, fair. Um, Goonosaurus. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, shorter in length. I think more in terms of length. Because length is something we can actually measure in fossils, whereas weight is like subjective to the calculation, like the formula you're using. Is it fair to say we don't really know what they'd be like? You mean the dinosaurs? I mean, we actually know a lot about what they would be like. We don't know. There's a lot we don't know, but there's a lot we do know. Okay, thanks, Jen. I'm not really I've never rated someone on stream before, but I might try after I stream here. Tyrannosaurus specimens, the new ones. Which ones? I've seen like the new Zoo exhibit. Um, I hope D-Rex is a failed T-Rex attempt. I really hope it's not. I didn't try to hybrid it with a human. I mean, Ark actually, they have some pretty accurate dinos. Oh, okay. I'll have to look at. I haven't seen the femur. That's cool. Um, Deinonychus was supposed to be in Jurassic World. I mean, also it's kind of like the original Jurassic Park Velociraptors were already based on Deinonychus, so I feel like it's a little redundant to like have something that basically is Deinonychus, but you call it Velociraptor, and then have another thing that you call Deinonychus with it. So I feel like that's fair. Messiosaurus. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeesh. Um, yeah, I mean, the only way is to go back in time, but we don't have a time machine. So we gotta do the best with what we can. Um, oh, I think, well, I'm thinking of like if you're making a clone, like a hybrid in the wild, it could be more strong. A hybrid in the wild, like for example, birds, like they hybridize with each other if they're really closely related. Like we know that songbirds um, hybridize, they create hybrid species all the time because they're really closely related. They're tiny. It's easy for them to like survive and breed with species that are closely related to them. But usually that can't really happen with bigger animals, and it can't really happen if things are like not literally like the closest related to each other evolutionary they possibly could be, which is like not what T-Rex and Velociraptor would be. So like already that's kind of incompatible to create a hybrid. So it's probably going to be sterile. It's probably going to have like health issues. And on top of that, it's like already the T Rex and Velociraptor in Jurassic World are clones themselves, and like clones are not gonna like have the healthiest life. And then on top of that, you're creating a hybrid of different clones. So it's like, to me, I think that would make Indoraptor and like Indominus Rex less powerful, if anything. Damn, that's cool, Crystal. I will have to do a video on that. My opinion on potatoes. I love potatoes. Eating them. That is crazy big. Albertosaurus, Tarbosaurus. Um, yeah, I think all of those are really cool. There's actually a really good book about the controversy of Tarbosaurus because it was taken from Mongolia. I can't remember the name of the book right now. Let me look it up. And it gives you kind of a little insight into like the kind of 70s to 90s, early 2000s paleo world. It's called The Dinosaur Artist: Obsession, Betrayal, and the Quest for Earth's Ultimate Trophy. I hate that word though, trophy. Fossils are not a trophy, guys, okay? Fossils and like anything that we can use for science are like, they're not just objects. They're like, they belong to us people of the world to be able to view them. I think everyone should be able to see them and learn from them, and they should be things that can be used for science to then share that scientific knowledge with everyone. You know, whether it's just sharing the knowledge just for the sake of sharing knowledge, or like sharing this knowledge to help people and make technology. So, yeah, I really don't like. Obviously, we have to deal with like buying and selling fossils and other objects that are used for science, but it's important to not just see them as objects or decoration. Oh yeah, I do know about Gorgeosaurus. Oh, that's awesome, Crystal. A peacock spider, that's cool. Yeah, horse hybridization, but I mean, those are like two horses breeding. Those are like, horses are the same species. Like they're all, you know, like domestic dogs are all the same species. So you could hybridize those. But what they did in Jurassic World was like hybridize across species. Yeah, bad news for Bad Batch. Pachycephalosaurus. We know that they use their heads to bash into each other to fight, probably fighting over mates or food or territory. Um, Other than that, we don't know a huge amount about them. We know that they're like related to ceratopsians, which are dinosaurs like Triceratops. Yeah, Indominus is a bunch of. I think there's even a little bit of Mosasaurus in Indominus, which is so ridiculous. Like, that would not be possible. Thanks, AJ. If you were to discover a skeleton of a prehistoric spider that's the size of a truck, do you get a reward? Yeah, maybe. I mean, probably if you bring it to a museum, they'll probably purchase it from you. You should always bring rare fossils you find to a museum. They could withstand up to 100-gram impacts. Um, Let me check that. So, yeah, the headbutt of a Pachycephalosaurus could range from 16,000 to 66,000 newtons. So that's between 3,700 pounds to 14,000 pounds of force. That's really hard to imagine. But again, it all depends. It all depends on the models you're using. You want to get a good boy. Good boy, AJ. Good boy to everyone who came to stream today. Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming to Dino Mommy's stream. How long does it take? You at least need to get a bachelor's, so at least 4 years to be a paleontologist. If you want to do your own research, you need a PhD, which is like at least a 4-year situation. Paleo history TikTok account. I haven't seen them. Courses, I would focus on evolutionary biology the most, and then like, if you can, a little bit of sedimentary geology, so you know a little bit about geology when you go in the field. Hi, Henna. Mesatosaurus, that would be cool. I have discovered a lot of dinosaurs. Usually I try to name them after like indigenous people of that region. So, but if I do have a chance to name something after Evangelion, I will. You always took rare Pokemon fossils to the lab on your Game Boy. Good job. Good job, Dark Weasel. Raysaurus. Shinjisaurus. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you gooned me. Carnotaurus is cool. One of the fastest big theropods, could run up to 34 miles per hour. Vicious dinosaur. I would not want to fuck around with that. Good boy Saurus. Oscasaurus. That'd be funny. Thanks for following Gamboa. And you guys on TikTok, if you haven't already, make sure you're following on Twitch too. I'm Reisuka with the _ over there. I have cosplayed Yoru, actually. Okay, so Indominus Rex had T-Rex, Velociraptor, Giganotosaurus, Therizinosaurus, Carnotaurus, Tree Frog, Pit Viper. Okay, that's what I was... Then maybe, Indoraptor, Abosasaurus or something. But yeah, I remember I had something weird. Oh, Cuttlefish. Yeah, that's way too much. That's, like, not realistic. Yes, I did see Disney's dinosaur movie. Hi, Jackus. I have cosplayed Yoru already. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much all the new dinosaurs I could see in the trailer. Of course, we're gonna have Blue, which is a Velociraptor. Even though they're called Velociraptors, they're really more the size of like Utahraptor, Deinonychus. And of course, they would be covered in feathers. You're playing Jurassic World Evolution 2 right now. That's cool. My natural eye color is this, the blue. Can Aerodactyl be a dinosaur in the Pokemon world? I would consider him to be more pterosaur, which would make him a flying reptile. So he would be more related to like snakes and lizards. Yeah. I am excited to like see what the new characters are in Jurassic World. I think because this is the first time we've really had new characters for Jurassic World that weren't bringing back, you know, Ellie and Dr. Grant and Ian Malcolm. Although I love them, but we're gonna get some brand new people, so that's exciting too. You named your Mosasaurus after me. That's so cute. Thanks, Josie. I am doing well. How are you? Thank you for the likes, guys. Italian brain rot mean. I haven't seen those, so post them in the Discord, I guess, if they're like, you know, not NSFW. Henosaurus. Well, we do have to give like when we name dinosaurs, we can't really just like we can kind of name them what we want as long as you have a good justification. So you have to be able to whip out a paragraph of that justification. Although I have named something after like a pop culture thing before, but it was justified. You're watching a movie. What movie? Oh yeah, definitely join the Discord if you haven't already, guys. You can find all my links on Instagram, on Twitch, on Twitter, or X. And my Discord link is there. It's Reisuka's Raptors. So you can join the Raptor pack. And we do movie nights. We've been watching Evangelion on there. There's a lot of fun stuff on there. It's like a really good community. Harry Potter 6. That's a depressing movie. Yeah, then go post them in there. But yeah, what dinosaurs would you guys like to see in the new Jurassic World? Because, let me know. Because I don't think they've shown us, like, all the dinosaurs they're gonna have. I hope... What do I hope they bring? I mean, I hope they show more sauropod. Yes, that is true, Shane the Dragon. The Disney dinosaur movie showed, like, stuff that wasn't mainstream, like Iguanodon. So that was kind of cool. I think it would be cool to see, like, Carnotaurus actually in the movies, because they don't really show... Carnotaurus is a really popular dinosaur, but oddly, it hasn't really been in the Jurassic World movies. Thanks, Josie. Hope you have a great weekend, too. I also personally like, this is not a dinosaur, this is a marine reptile. Again, more closely related to reptiles than to dinosaurs. But I would like to see Plesiosaurus in a Jurassic World movie because I love Plesiosaurus. It's like so crazy. It's the underwater swimming reptile with a long neck. Pen for 60,000 beers. You're not. I don't think you're gonna be shipping me beer every week the rest of my life. But if you are, Then we can talk. Yes, turtles are reptiles. Turtles, snakes, lizards. Oh, Pliosaurus was scrapped. I will definitely have to do a stream after I see the movie and tell you guys everything I think about it. I am excited for it. Let me see if they've confirmed any dinosaurs in articles or anything. Oh, you meant Plesiosaurus. Yeah. Plesiosaurus would be really cool. A Chelops. Oh, yeah, okay. So they do, I forgot, they did show another dinosaur, which I guess is going to be a Chelops. I thought it was Protoceratops when I first saw it, because I specialize in theropods and birds, so, you know, I don't know ceratopsians as well, but so this thing, it basically looks like Protoceratops, but like with a little horn right behind his nose that like is a little more pointy and like inset into the skin, if that makes sense. So it looks like they are gonna have that, which is cool. That's kind of like a rare ceratopsian dinosaur to have, and it looked really cute in the trailer. Also looks like they're gonna have a Lego set of it, which is pretty cool. I guess they're calling the Pteranodon the modified Quetzalcoatlus. They're calling it Mutodon. So that makes sense why, you know, it has that crest on its beak that doesn't really fit with anything. And then, let's see. I think that's really all the dinosaurs they have released. Do I know any cool facts about Triceratops? Triceratops, one cool thing that we think they did is when a predator was attacking the herd, like the adults probably got in a circle and put their faces outward, so their faces would be like shields, and they would have like the weaker and younger Triceratops stay in the middle of the circle. So basically, they're kind of like Roman soldiers defending like the inner weaker and younger members of the herd. So that's pretty cool. How did Dilophosaurus go extinct? We don't really know exactly how the dinosaurs went extinct. We think it had something to do with the asteroid impact, but that's actually my job, is figuring out what really happened to the dinosaurs. So stay tuned for more information. You bought a PS5, I'm jealous. A raptor pteranodon mutant is what the mutodons are? Okay. That's upsetting. I thought that was a Dimorphodon, though. That would make more sense then why the legs are more Velociraptor-like, but again, it's like you would not want to combine, like, genetically something that's so distantly related. Like, I mean, because pteranodons are reptiles and velociraptors are dinosaurs. Ah, thank you, Dally. Maybe I will bring back my Ellie Sattler. Haven't done her in a while. Oh yeah, prehistoric insects are cool. I love the giant dragonflies. What got me fascinated into dinosaurs? Really watching Jurassic Park was one of the main things, and then going to museums when I was a kid and seeing dinosaur bones. Why do Triceratops look like chameleons? I don't know. They probably just, they're scaly. They look like lizards. Yeah, but it's not really just like a donkey with a horse. Basically, it would be like combining a pteranodon with a velociraptor would be like combining a bird with a snake. Like, they're so, like, far removed. You don't like horseflies. I mean, they are annoying. But every animal plays an important part in its own ecosystem. We don't know. You don't know what would happen if we removed horseflies. It might be detrimental. I don't know. I'm wondering if they're gonna make D Rex and T Rex fight because they always have to have T Rex prove its worth against the new bigger predator, right? So they might. I'm thinking they're gonna make it fight a D Rex. Children of Time. I haven't seen that. I mean, I think D Rex would lose personally. They named a dinosaur after Michael Crichton. That's cool. I didn't know that. Quetzalcoatl. Yeah, but that's some mythology. Mm. Thanks, fanboy worshiper. I always recommend going to YouTube if your professor is not the best. That has helped me a lot. And most universities and colleges have like free tutoring centers in the library too. You could take advantage of that. The puppet show with dinosaurs. What was that? Most dinosaurs we have no complete fossils for. Yes, that is true. It's really rare to find a complete fossil, especially for theropod dinosaurs like the bird-like dinosaurs because they had hollow bones. So usually they would get smashed and not preserved very well. So they're kind of like the rarest vertebrate animal you could work on. Dinosaurs like a dino family. I don't think I've seen that. Thanks for coming, AJ. I did not watch Primeval, but I feel like I should because people keep bringing it up. Why does the T-Rex look like a mashed potato? I don't know. Oh, thanks, Ada Ada Trent Knox for the heart. Thank you for coming. Um, yeah, we don't. I mean, I think we have more than 12 T Rex skulls, but the problem with T Rex is a lot of T Rex skeletons are actually like in private collections, so they're not owned by museums. They're owned basically by rich people who like bought skeletons of T Rex from the auctions, and they're just like on display in their house. So we have a lot of T-Rex material in museums, but there's also a lot that we can't really, most of it we can't access because people just have it in their house as a decoration. Yes, I have seen all the Land Before Time movies. Yeah, that's fine with me promoting it on the FYP. Yes, please. Yeah, the D-Rex, I think they were kind of going for like an alien xenomorph vibe. You want to get rich and get a Carnotaurus skull, but it belongs in a museum! You better give it to a museum. Geomatics. I'm not sure what that is. You mean like ground penetrating radar and stuff like that? I have friends that know how to use it, like GIS. Yeah, I haven't personally studied that, but I have friends who have. It's not really useful for fossils because the problem with fossils is like they're gonna show up the same color as the rock around them because they're made out of the same rock. So not really useful for the fossils I work on. Dilophosaurus is underrated. The real Dilophosaurus, if you guys haven't seen my video about it, no. So in Jurassic Park, they made Dilophosaurus a lot smaller, like 2 times smaller. And then they also gave it a frill, which we don't have evidence of a frill. We do have evidence of like a crest on the top of the head of Dilophosaurus. But the frill is something that living lizards have. They use the frills to like look bigger and scare away other male lizards and attract mates. So that's something that was really added for like the movie effect to make it look cool. And then they also added like spitting poison for Dilophosaurus, which is cool, but we don't have any evidence that dinosaurs could spit poison. So, yeah. It's a little bit of a hybrid of like living reptiles and Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park. Hi. I'm doing well. How are you guys? Um I mean, maybe if a triceratops was like like starving, it could try to eat a small animal, but it wouldn't give it enough nutrients. They really had to eat like a lot of vegetation. My favorite dinosaur is Velociraptor, any of the bird-like dinosaurs. Because that's what I study. Um, Thank you for coming, Lewis Shoemaker. Yes, plate tectonics are important. It's important to look at all the different parts of what was going on. A lot of paleontologists kind of focus on just like looking at a dinosaur skeleton and then trying to figure out what happened from there. But like, if you're a good paleontologist, you really should look at like evolution and plate tectonics and climate and ecology and like ecosystems, like everything that was going on around the dinosaurs you're trying to study, so you can get a better picture of what's going on, so you're not just like coming up with something based on basically one data point, which is the fossil you're looking at. Movie tier list. Dinosaur movie tier list. Should I do it? Yes. I mean, Godzilla in real life, it would be scary. I mean, if you discover a new dinosaur fossil, you won't become rich because you can't really sell it unless like you found it and you weren't a scientist. I guess you could sell it, but that would be sad for science. Do I have games on my phone? I used to play mobile games a lot, but they, then they kind of ask for too much money. Thanks, Tomorrow King, for following me. Ada ada. A Margosaurus is very cool. I like the new sauropods they're showing in Jurassic World look more like a Margosaurus to me than Titanosaur sauropods. More Diego Brando. Of course. Land Before Time tier. Yes. What got me into paleontology? Really watching Jurassic Park when I was a kid and seeing like dinosaur skeletons in museums. So yeah. Um, we talked about pretty much all the dinosaurs. I hope they have more than what they showed in the trailer too, because just I think the more dinosaurs, the better. As long as there's not too much CGI going on. I'm not sure, random guy. Most random complicated module. I mean, the most complicated thing I had to study in school was ecology, because ecology is actually a lot of math equations, because you're basically trying to model like what's going on in an environment and in an ecosystem, which is literally an impossible thing to do because they're so complicated. But you just try your best to kind of guesstimate it with mathematical models, but it's pretty rough. Yes, War of the Worlds is good. I do not want it to happen in real life either. Um, I mean, I kind of hope that like the D-Rex is gonna be like as deadly and quick as a xenomorph. If you're gonna make a D-Rex and make Jurassic World horrific, I think you might as well go all out. You might as well make it terrifying, but I'm not sure if they're gonna do that. My favorite dinosaur, Velociraptor. Spectrometry. Yeah, I did a little bit of that. I didn't love it. Yeah, well, I guess they will be CGI. I thought they were still trying to use some animatronics though. The funny thing is that like Jurassic Park really pioneered the use of like combining animatronics with CGI in a way that made the dinosaurs realistic. But ever since they did that, then that kind of launched CGI, and now like CGI has really taken over Hollywood, so it's kind of like ironic. Thanks for sharing the live, guys. Thanks for all the likes and shares. That helps me a lot. Do I play dinosaur games? I play Ark a little bit. It's kind of hard for me. Um, I've played like Beasts of Bermuda, and then what else? I want to play the new like dinosaur survival game. I've seen Time Crisis. I haven't played it. I play Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2. The Dryptosaurus, that's a cool one. Yeah, I think the new dinosaur survival game, it's kind of, it gives me FNAF Security Breach vibes where you're like walking around, kind of like that combined with Alien. A human shark hybrid? No. No. I mean, I think they should use more animatronics. I mean, they still have a lot of those things laying around. Might as well. Walking with Dinosaurs, yes. Oh, the new trailer? No, I've not seen that. Um, yeah, is there anything else you guys have heard about the Jurassic World movie? I think I've covered everything I've heard about it. Oh yeah, okay. I've seen the Tralala. Now I know what you're talking about. Now I know what you're talking about. I think those are funny. Yeah, the animatronics get a little iffy at night. FNAF, but it's Jurassic World animatronics. Instead of Bonnie, it's like the T-Rex. Somehow though, that's like less scary to me than the FNAF animatronics. I'd rather have an animatronic T-Rex chasing me than that purple fucking bunny. um yeah, I need to watch the new Gundam series with the Evangelion creator. What would I tell him? Maybe I'd tell him some facts about Megalodon if I met Tralala in real life. I would be a great librarian. I don't think so. I'd be too bored. I became a paleontologist because I like traveling. I'm a content creator because I like traveling, doing new things every day. Being a librarian would be so boring to me. It's a lot of cataloging. You don't get to like do your own research really. Thank you for the likes, guys. I wouldn't mind if they brought Pyroraptor back, although we only know Pyroraptor from like the real Pyroraptor is only known from like a single little raptor claw. Um, so pretty much most of what they showed in Jurassic World was made up, but I love the concept of it. It was really cool. Yo, guys, I heard dinosaurs is gonna be in Jurassic Park Rebirth. I don't know. 'Cause, you know, before there was never dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. It was just cows. I mean, probably. Um, I also hope they show more pterosaurs in general, because if you guys look up pterosaurs, there is so many different pterosaurs of all different sizes, and they have all different diets. Like some of them only eat insects, some of them only eat small animals, some of them are huge, like Quetzalcoatlus, the ones who probably already know about. Yeah, I guess since we're talking about dinosaurs, I could show you guys my Velociraptor skull. And I also have the claw. I'll show you guys some real paleontology stuff. Um, so first of all, this is my pickaxe. Yes, it is a real pickaxe, like from Tomb Raider. Um, Basically, we can use this for a lot of different things in the field. But the main thing I use it for in the field is to crack open rocks. Because there's basically two main ways of finding dinosaur fossils when we go out in the field. The first way is we kind of keep walking along eroded rock and we look for fossils that are sticking out of the ground, like bone that's sticking out of the ground, and then we can start excavating from there. The other way that fossils are mainly preserved is they'll be like inside. I'm looking for something to demonstrate, but I don't see it. But basically, the other way that they can be preserved is called a concretion. So what a concretion is it's basically a rock that has a fossil inside of it. Usually it's like a ball shape. And that's where these come in handy, is we can take a rock and like split it open with this and then crack, like kind of split it enough so we can crack it in half and pull the rock apart and see what fossils inside. So that's what this is for. Also comes in handy when you're like falling down the side of a mountain and you gotta like stop yourself on the side of a mountain. Also a handy weapon in an emergency. It's pretty heavy. Now here I have, this is the cast of a Utahraptor claw. I don't have any real dinosaur fossils because they belong in a museum. But this is a cast of a Utahraptor claw, so this thing's pretty big. This is like, Utahraptor was about the size of the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be hard to survive against this thing. I mean, it's almost the size of my face. Yeah, IRL Minecraft. Yeah, you do have, I mean, you have to be, we just try to be as careful as we can with excavating fossils, but yeah, there's always, every time you uncover a fossil, there's always a risk you're gonna break it. We also do bring glue in the field. Usually what I try to do is like glue as little of the fossil together as I have to, because I don't really want to alter the fossil or make it appear a certain way. Like, so what we usually try to do, like best practices, is to alter the fossil as little as possible in the field, get it to the lab where then you can really work on it and like preserve it better. What's the dress code in the field? usually you can wear anything. I mean, anything that is comfortable and breathable. It kind of depends where you are. If you're in a place where there's a lot of sun, or if you're in a place like where I went in South America that was close to Antarctica, like close to the South Pole, where the ozone layer was missing, so the sun was like really powerful. Basically, you want to be covered in like, sunproof clothing, like clothing that has SPF in it, or at least clothing that covers you so you don't get sunburned. Hats. Um, and if you're going to a really cold place, like where I was near Antarctica, you want to have, you don't want to wear cotton. You want to make sure all of your clothing is like wool or sweat wicking material, because if it gets wet, it's too cold and it's not going to dry. So you could actually get hypothermia from like wearing something that has cotton in it in those types of environments. So it kind of just depends where you're going. Also, sunglasses, really important. Something to cover your eyes, because usually you're around really eroded mountainsides, and so like the wind is usually kind of whipping dirt in your eyes. um am I cosplaying today? No. Just me. Should the T-Rex be nerfed? It can't be nerfed. No, we don't use scanners. We can't. You can't use scanners to find fossils underground because the fossils are made up of the same rock that's like surrounding it, so you can't use scanners like that. Have I ever yelled at one of my colleagues for stupidly damaging a fossil while excavating? Not yet, but there's some times I came close, and the reason I didn't is because I was a student at the time, so I did not have the power to do that, but yes, I really wanted to. Yeah, let me show you guys this. Again, this is a cast. It's not a real dino fossil. But, it's pretty accurate 3D print of a velociraptor. This is like life-sized too. Life-size velociraptor skull. So we're about the same size. Our heads are about the same size. But yeah, so dinosaurs with their skulls, you can like tell that something is a dinosaur because of the holes in their skull. So this is the eye socket where the eyeball is going to be. And then this is like the nostril, the nose holes. So that's like our nostrils. Okay, are going to be here. And then basically all dinosaurs, one of the requirements of being a dinosaur is you have to have this extra hole between the eye socket and the nose holes, and that's called the antorbital fenestra. And we think that dinosaurs evolved this. Birds also have this too. We think that dinosaurs evolved this because it made their skulls lighter. So that was something that definitely like helped when it came to the evolution of flight. And then what else? You can see they have pretty sharp teeth. This is the mandible, so this is like the equivalent of our jawbone. And these are the dinosaurs' cheekbones here. The zygomatic bone. That's equivalent to our cheekbone. Now, in birds and dinosaurs, a lot of the bones are fused in weird ways and they look different, and they have a few extra bones in their face that we don't have, because mammals have the most like fused up face, basically. Where's the brain? So the brain would be in here, in this little, inside this little brain case. So what we can do with fossils, which we've done with Velociraptor and a lot of fossils, is we can actually like take this brain case and put it in a CT scanner, like a CAT scanner, basically what you would have done at the hospital. And then we put that on the computer, and the computer can take the empty space inside the brain case and it can reconstruct the brain pretty accurately. And so we can actually see like what the brain shape was like. We can, a lot of times we can even see like what all the nerves are that were coming and going from the brain. We can see blood vessels. So we can compare those to the brains of living birds and reptiles. And then we can get a pretty good idea of like, you know, which dinosaurs had a better sense of smell. If the area of their brain that was used for smelling is really big, or like what their intelligence was, what their sense of vision was, things like that. So yeah, as a paleontologist, I have to know all the little names for like everything in the skull here, and all of those things change depending on which species you're looking at. And when you get to birds, it's also a whole other thing, but I have to know all of them because I want to study their evolution. So that took years and years of like memorization to do that. Yeah, I mean it's not worth hurting people over dead animals, but you know, it is very frustrating when people hurt fossils. Yeah, they are razor sharp. Favorite dino figures? I mean, I always loved like Velociraptor and Theropod dinosaurs. Um, Thanks for sharing the live, guys. Thanks for the roses. Ada ada. Let's see, what else can I tell you guys? You're a good boy. um, yeah, this is the back of the skull. If you've ever seen the back of a human skull, it actually looks pretty similar. So I don't know. I always think it's interesting to look at the back of bird and dinosaur skulls. So this hole, first of all, that's called the foramen magnum. And we have one at the base of our skull, right here. And that's where the foramen magnum is a big hole in the back of your skull where your spinal cord comes out of your brain and runs along your spine, along your vertebrae. So this is what it looks like in Velociraptor. And this is kind of how the back of the skull looks like in most birds too. And then this is what we call the occipital condyle. So it's basically where the skull connects to the vertebrae. So if you kind of tilt your head and move it around, you can just imagine you have a little ball of bone right here, just like Velociraptor, and it's tilting around on your vertebrae. So yeah, I don't know. There's like a lot more I could talk about, but I feel like, you know, it's kind of for anatomy nerds. Oh yeah, I guess one more thing I could show you is that birds and dinosaurs have an extra bone here that we don't have, connecting their jaw and their skull, called the quadrate. Now we don't have that because it's already been fused into our skull, because mammals evolved by fusing a lot of their bones. But dinosaurs and birds have it. It's like reptiles have it too. It's like a signature bone for them. Most underrated dino Troodon. Thanks for following me, safety meeting. Beast of Mesozoic. Okay. I got this from Etsy. I forgot the guy's name right now, but I got this from Etsy. I might get a Spinosaurus one. There's a lot of 3D printed like dinosaur skulls on Etsy that are pretty good quality and they're not too expensive. Thanks for following me, guys. Oh yeah, I did see Jurassic World just dropped a Roblox partnership. I don't play Roblox, so I've never played it. I was a little too old. I was a little too old for Minecraft. I'm old enough to be your mommy. But maybe I'll take a look at what dinosaurs they're adding to Roblox. Maybe I'll do a little video on it. Another skull. I don't have another one. I have the pronghorn up there. I mean, I could compare it and show you. So this is a real skull. This is picked up off the side of the road. Actually, this is my dad's, so I didn't collect it personally, but so pronghorns, they're antelope. You can see them out west in America. They are mammals, like us. We are mammals. So you can kind of see the difference. See, they don't have a lot of holes in their skull, do they? Neither do we. They don't have that extra antorbital fenestra in front of the eye socket. And then the nasal cavity is more, it's more located, like we would call that anteriorly. Basically, it's located like pointing outwards, which is kind of more what ours are. Versus the dinosaur nasal cavities were like huge and kind of pointing like forward, but also to the side. So yeah. And of course, mammals have teeth. You can see all the teeth along here, which birds don't have teeth. A lot of Mesozoic dinosaurs did have teeth, but then bird-like dinosaurs and then birds pretty much lost their teeth completely. There's a couple bird-like things that had teeth, like Ichthyornis and Hesperornis, but not very many. And these are the eye sockets in the mammal, of course. I don't have the jaw of this guy. But on the back, again, you can see the occipital bone. That's what we call this area of the bone. Again, like foramen magnum, that's where the spinal cord comes out. And the occipital condyle. This guy doesn't have much of one. I guess it's kind of, they're kind of split to the side in this guy. And the cheekbones are way back here, which they kind of are in Velociraptor as well. But yeah, it gets pretty fun to like compare, you know, reptiles versus birds versus mammals. And oh, I wish I had a jaw to show you, but basically, you know, this guy, he doesn't have the quadrate like I was showing you guys. The jaw would just attach and then there wouldn't be any extra bone like connecting it like there is in Velociraptor. Mosasaur teeth, I do actually have one somewhere. I don't have it like to show you right now though. Okay, last thing I'll show you guys since we're talking about Jurassic World. I do have a Jurassic Park Jeep Wrangler. I always loved the Jurassic Park Jeeps. Latest Jurassic World trailer. That's what I've been spending the stream talking about. But if you want to get all my thoughts on it, you can watch the stream on Twitch. It'll be up on there. Because I talked about all the dinosaurs already. And then I am releasing a YouTube video soon with more thoughts on the new Jurassic World dinos too. The Wendigo. Yeah. True. Are pronghorns the second fastest? I don't know, honestly. Evangelion Unit 1 and Godzilla Hybrid. I've seen prints of that. It looks pretty cool. Oh, thanks, It's Fergie, for coming. Peregrine falcon is the fastest animal in the world. Golden eagle is the second. Then the gyr falcon. So basically they're all birds. Dinosaurs win again. Dinosaurs are always winning, guys. Mazzotto and Jurassic Park win. I don't know. It'd be cool, though. Yes, I went to Momo last year. I did not go this year. But yeah, so thank you guys for coming to my stream. Again, check out the stream on Twitch. I'm Reisuko over on Twitch if you want to watch everything I said about the dinosaurs for Jurassic World. Check out my YouTube because I'm going to be posting a video on there soon about it too. And yeah, hopefully this will be a cool movie. I'll definitely have to share my reaction with you guys. Next week, I'm probably not going to be able to stream, but I will return to streaming the following week. So I might be able to do a TikTok stream next week. We'll see, but I don't think I'll be able to do a Twitch stream. I might. We'll see. Probably not. But yeah, I will be returning. I'll be traveling, but I will be returning to normal stream schedule after that. I might stream on Monday. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. It depends. I have to get a lot of dinosaur research done this week. So thank you guys for coming. I love you guys. Good night, Dino Nuggets. Thanks for following me on Twitch. LK6504. Ada. Bye.